Hi, welcome to my Makeup Monday for Monday the 1st of January 2024. So Happy New Year to everybody. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast, and this is my Makeup Monday for this week. So I hope everybody had a lovely New Year's Eve and rang in the new year. And I hope 2024 is going to be a great year for everybody. So today I'm going to play with something that's coming in the new mini catalogue. It's a stamp set called Stippled Roses, and I really love it. It's a beautiful stamp set, and I'm going to do a technique. It's called a whitewash technique, so I have done it before in the past, so I thought I'd give it another go. So let's flip down to the craft desk and we can get started and talk about a few other things. Okay, so first of all, this mini catalogue expires in 3 days. 3rd of January it expires. So you've got the 1st, 2nd and 3rd to order anything you want from the last chance products list. There are some things in this catalogue carrying over, not everything, and some things have already sold out, but there's still a lot available. So if you want anything from this catalogue, you need to get it in the next 3 days. So just send me a message if you need anything. And then on the 4th of January, which I don't know, is that a Tuesday? Let me look. The 4th of January. No, the 4th of January is Thursday. This catalogue and celebration start. So I can't show anything. I can't show you the inside of the catalogue until it's live to customers. That is a Stampin' Up rule. That's not my rule. That's a rule that Stampin' Up have, and I think it's to stop people that have a lot of problem with Chinese copies of their products. Temu is one of the big ones at the moment that's copying their products, so they're always got legal action against these Chinese knockoffs to try and stop them from, poaching their products. And that's one reason why we don't show the inside of the catalogue. However, they still seem to find out things. But anyway, if you don't have these catalogues and you'd like them, just let me know. I have some left that I can get out to you. So this is the Stippled Rose stamp set. It's a bundle. It's a stamp die bundle. It's $94.50. And if it floats your boat and it's something you'd really like, then it's a level 1 celebration qualification. It's $90. It qualifies you for a level 1 free gift with purchase. So if you really like it, buy this bundle and you can get a free gift from the celebration brochure. And there is paper in the celebration brochure called Softly Stippled, which coordinates with this stamp set. So that would be the perfect thing to get if you're wanting this die stamp and die set. Get the matching paper from your celebration freebie. So it's a beautiful distinctive stamp and stamps and dies. The dies are gorgeous, but we are actually not going to use the dies today. We are going to do a whitewash technique. So I heard a little bit of a play. This is using Berry Burst and the white craft ink. We've gold heat embossed the rose. Just see if you can see that. And then we've splattered white craft ink on it. This one I used the Starry Sky. It's one of the in colours, and that's really pretty too. So I'll show you how I did. I'm going to stamp them twice so I can show you different ways I coloured. And we're going to use Poppy Parade this time. So here's a few other cards I've made with this stamp set. I've got them in little plastic bags ready for my launch. I put them on my display board. So that's just a very simple one, and this is the DSP that's in the celebration catalogue. It's another simple one. I've cut the leaves out in vellum. It's a really beautiful die. Oh, that one's folded over. I'll have to fix that. This is the leaf from the stamp set and the paper. Funny, Calypso Coral is a colour I don't really use, but it's got that in the paper and it's really quite nice. This is another one. This shows the leaves off a little bit better than the vellum one. Really pretty. So there's some of the ones I've already played with this bundle. So let's get our act together. Okay, so I've got a little strip of Poppy Parade there. So I am going to, so I've got my A4 card base, A5 card base, in crumb cake. I'm still getting used to my glass mat. In crumb cake, and we'll score that over. So it's going to be a landscape card. I've got my my Poppy Parade, which is 10 centimeters by 14.4 or 14.3 as my layering mat, and then I've got a piece of crumb cake again, and it's 9.5 by 13.9 or 13.8. So there are simple card layers. Now I've got two of those because I want to show you different ways of doing the colouring. So let's put our card base to one side, out of the way safely, and okay. So let's grab our stamp that we're going to use. We're going to use this lovely big rose stamp, and you do need your E-block for that stamp because it's a lovely big stamp. It fits just on your E-block, except if it sticks to your glass mat. I'm just trying to work out this way. This is good. There we go. So it fits just on your E-block like so. So I've got my embossing kit from the annual catalogue. Love this kit. If you do a lot of heat embossing, this is a must-have in your stash. This is the embossing buddy. We rub that over to get rid of any static, and so that the embossing powder doesn't stick where we don't want it. So that's a must. And I will get my little piece of Poppy Parade because we'll do our stamped image sentiment at the same time. Saves getting our embossing tool and everything out again. Okay, I'll get rid of those. Move that over here. And we've got our gold embossing powder. Okay, so this is our Versamark ink. So Versamark is a sticky ink, and it helps the embossing powder to stick to it, and then you can get a beautiful embossed image. So where's our sample card? Let's bring this one back in. So I am going to stamp it this way round on both pieces of crumb cake. So I'm just going to stamp it straight down. And I will get my gold embossing powder onto this first because it's best to get that done straight away before your sticky ink dries. Okay, if you've got any residue down here, just brush it off with a brush carefully, or tap it on the back. That will get rid of it as well. My brush has got a few fine hairs splaying out, and I don't like that. Okay, so I'll put that to one side while we stamp it again. We'll ink it up again and stamp it again. So if you're doing a lot of heat embossing, this is the best way to do it. Have it like a little bit of a production line. So once again, I'm just going to stamp that straight down onto my crumb cake piece of cardstock. And bring this over. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'll put that to one side, and I'll just put this back in my little jar before we do our stamped sentiment. just tap it in. You just unscrew the little plug at the end of the tray. I'm trying to find the right words. There's my brush. And then this brush is actually for sweeping anything in your tray back into your little embossing pot. So now that we've got the powder on our other two bits and pieces, it's okay to not heat emboss them straight away. It can wait. Now I was going to do congratulations. I'll just see if that will fit. Will that fit? I think it will. Just for a change, I thought I'd do congratulations, and I didn't get a block out for that. Silly me. Okay. So we're going to heat emboss this in gold as well. So just straight down. That looks pretty good. I might fussy cut that sentiment. I'll think about that. Okay. So it's not as nice a day here on the Central Coast today. We've had some beautiful summer weather, but today it's just a little bit overcast and cooler. Now, did that ruin that? No, it didn't. Good. So it's good crafting weather when it's a bit cooler. There we go. I've been having a really big clean in my kitchen. I thought I'll clean out my pantry. This was not yesterday, the day before. I thought I'll give my pantry a good clean out. So I started with that, and then it just kept going. One thing led to another, and I did cupboards. I've done the whole kitchen now. I've done the cupboards, pantry, fridge, everything. You name it, I've cleaned it in the kitchen. So it's really nice to have a big clean out like that, because it's, I don't know, it's just nice. Okay, so let me get my embossing, my heat tool. It just sits up on my windowsill, so I'm just making sure. Okay, okay, so I did actually bump this when I picked it up, and I've missed a bit of, I've dusted off a bit of embossing powder there. That won't matter because I'll put my sentiment across there, so it's not a big issue. So I'll move my stamps over there. Okay. Now I'm using my glass mat. Now if you're thinking of joining during celebration, you can add this glass mat to your starter kit. It's beautiful glass mat, and you get this chamois cloth to clean it. So I'm just wiping down any embossing powder that may have spilt onto it. Now it's like the chamois, so it does have to stay moist. So I'm just keeping mine in a little plastic bag. And you also get this silicone mat that you can put your ink pads in. You can mix and blend and all sorts of things. I haven't really used that as such yet, but I've got it there if I want to. Okay, so let's bring this back in. You do need an aqua painter for this technique. So let me find my aqua painter. Has that got, yes, that's got water in it. And that's there it is. I was thinking, what have I done with my card base? I'll put that over there. So we don't need Poppy Parade ink. What was I thinking? Okay, so this is the old craft white ink. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can actually pour a little bit of the re-inker into here, or you can dip a block into it. I sort of did both when I was doing this technique, so let's just dip your block into that. And I think I've got enough still in there, so I won't do any more. I've got a tissue here that I've mopped up ink from something else I was doing. So I'm just going to squeeze some water onto my block, and I'm just going to paint over. You need it a little bit thicker, so you would actually need, when I think about it, it's so thick. There we go. A little bit of that, because you need your water, your white ink, to be a little bit gluggy and a little bit thicker for this technique. There we go. So I'm just going to paint the rose. And if you're not sure where the rose is, just bring your stamp case back in, like where the petals are, and that helps you find where you should be painting. This has got a lot of detail, this stamp. Okay, I'm going to do this little bud. This one. So you rather have your white wash a little bit thicker than watery and runny. Now I saw a Canadian demonstrator demonstrate this, stamping with Melva Peters. She's in British Columbia in Canada, and I just loved the technique, and I thought I needed to give it a go. I have done it before, but I just wanted to give it another go. Okay, so I'll put that one to one side. You can dry it off, and I probably will have to do that with the heat tool. Let me just put my aqua painter down and get a bit more of the craft ink. You can just do it straight into this tray if you wanted to. Have I got this round? Oh, I better turn it the right way round. No, I had it the right way round. Goodness gracious. Okay. It sort of looks like a hot mess at the moment, but it will come together nicely. I promise. You sort of think, because of all the heat embossing, the gold embossing, there's nothing's going to show, but it's surprising. It does. Got somebody outside doing something, doing some sort of posing or something, which I'm not very appreciative of. Okay. If you were to sop this up with a paper towel or a tissue, you would lose a lot of the white. So you're best not to do that. It's best not to... See, I've got white on the bottom of this. It's best not to do that. So I'm going to bring my heat tool in again and dry this off a little bit. It's not quite dry, but this is the one we're going to do second. So let's just bring this one in and make sure this one's dry. Yes. Yes. Okay, I did need this. Okay, let me just grab my little blending brush. So what we're going to do, just make sure that's dry. That's the problem with doing a technique. It takes a little bit longer to dry. Okay, let's do this. So with Poppy Parade, I'm just going to put my finger in it. Didn't want to do that. I'm just going to get a little bit of ink and I'm going to put it off into here. And with the little baby blending brushes, which are in that annual catalogue, I'm just going to blend over here, just gently. Just like so. And I find it's good to do this into the lid because then it doesn't, you don't get as much, you take a little bit of the ink off and it's not as heavy. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. I think that's enough colour. So let's close that up for the moment. And I'll bring that up to show you what it looks like. It doesn't look like a lot of colour, but when you put the backing, don't put your card upside down. When you put your backing piece on, that lifts the colour off. We can go a little bit darker. I think I will. Okay, let's go a little bit heavier with our colouring. But that's entirely up to you. You don't need to have a heavy hand. I think that's a little bit better. And I've got a little bit of fluff there. So that's what it looks like. I'm not going to worry about the leaves because we've got them heat embossed, but that's what it looks like. It's so pretty. Now we'll put this card together. No, we won't. I'm going to grab a piece of paper and I'm going to move all this aside because what we're going to do now is do some white splatter. And we're going to get our little block, put a bit more water onto it. There we go. And get our bone folder and just hit our aqua painter over our card, our crumb cake card. And that just gives us a little bit of splatter. Let me see. I'll hold that up. Can you see the splatter on the card? So it just makes it look a little bit vintage. And it also splatters all over your glass mat, but it can be wiped up. Okay, so I might put that one to one side for the moment. And I'll show you another way of colouring. Let's just make sure that's not completely dry yet. I might just hit this one. It's nearly dry. Oh, must have gone a bit heavier. Let me just hit this one last. That should do it. I'm just going to get my little tissue. I was a bit heavy-handed and it was over the gold embossing there. And I want to show you another way of doing it. So we'll get our Poppy Parade again. And instead, if you don't have the blending brushes, the big one or the mini ones, the little ones, if you've got a dauber works just as well. So let's do it this way. And because I've chosen a dauber that's falling apart, haven't I? So this is sort of a bit more intense with the colour. The blending brushes are a little bit more subtle. But this is another way that you can do this technique. So let's close that up. So this one is with the blending brushes and this one is with the daubers. Can you see the difference? We might be able to put a bit more colour onto this if we wanted to. Yes, we can. And then emboss resist, you can take the colour off with a tissue off the gold. So can you see the difference? The blending brushes is a little bit more subtle and the dauber is a bit more intense. So once again, I'm going to get my aqua painter. I probably don't need to put any more in there. And I'm going to do my white splatter. I'll turn it around. This is really addictive. Okay. So let's clean off our... Let's close this up. Move that to one side. And I shall get my glass matte cloth and wipe my mat down, my glass mat down, because if I don't do that, I will end up with the white on my card base. So how cool is this glass mat? I think it's great. Okay, so that's good. I've just come up for 30 minutes, so I want to get cracking. Now the decision is, do we put the stronger one or the more subtle one? I'll make both cards up. So it'll eventually both be made, they'll both get made up. So let's just put some glue on the back of this. And pop that onto our Poppy Parade card mat, layering mat. And that's not very straight, so that's why we've got the glue, because we can wiggle it into place much better. Turn it over and just give it a rub. It sort of is a little bit warped because we've heat embossed it and put some water onto the cardstock as well. Okay, so I'll put this onto our card base. Like so. And this is our sentiment. Will I cut around it? Let's just do that. I've sort of been doing this a lot lately, fussy cutting around my sentiments. I don't know why I've suddenly started doing that. but you know, if it works, it works. So this could be a wedding card, engagement card. This time last year I was busily making and getting everything finished for my daughter's wedding invitations because she was married in March, so I haven't had that stress this year, and it's been really nice. I don't know how I did it all last year when I think about it, but there you go. Quite often you just do it because you have to. There we go. I think that looks quite good. Oops, get rid of that. Okay. So I shall put that up on some mini dimensionals. And this video has gone a little bit longer. Sorry about that. Sometimes that happens when I do a technique. Put that there. And there. I tell you what I want to do. I want to do a skinny one. So that's what I do. I cut the edges off to get a skinny one if I want something skinny. There we go. We'll put some bling on as well. How nice is that? That looks pretty. Now, this will be the challenge. What bling shall we use? The blooming pearls have gold pearls, but so does the festive pearls. Let's see what's in the festive pearls, what I've got left. No, they're not the right red. There's gold there too. I think I'll go with the blooming pearls because they're a bit bigger and I quite like them. Okay, here we go. I'll put one up here. I'm going to dimensional backing. And put one down here. I have to get some more of these. I love them. Okay, so that's the blooming pearls. They're carrying over. They're in the mini catalogue that's current with the Garden Walk suite, but they are carrying over. So that's really nice that they're carrying over because I like them. Okay, so that is our card for our technique for today. So let me grab my other ones in. You can see different colours. Now that's using the blending brush, so it's a little bit more subtle. The colour is a little bit more subtle, but it still looks, in real life, it looks a bit darker than what it's coming up on the camera. And this one was using the dauber. So you can see that it's a little bit more intense. And this one was using the blending brush with Berry Burst, and this one was using the dauber with Starry Sky. So you can see the difference. If you want a more subtle effect, you'd go the blending brush. If you want a more intense effect, you go the dauber. I'll bring those down. So I hope you liked that technique. Give it a go. It's really fun and it's really cool, and I think it's great. So as I said, I hope you enjoyed that. It's just a fun technique to play with. You can use other stamp sets, floral stamp sets, and do the same. There's all sorts of whitewashing techniques that you can do. You can use these blender pens with whitewash as well. That's another way of doing whitewash. So there's quite a few ways of using the whitewash technique. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a great week, first week of 2024. And I will see you on Friday for Card and a Cuppa. Bye everyone.